Lamar Jackson. Now, ESPN, they do this annually. I think this was the third year they've done it. But Jeremy Fowler always polls, 50 some odd coaches, executives, players, scouts, and they rank, guys at their position. They did the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. And in fairness, Fowler said this, look, this is not a lifetime achievement award. This is not potential. This is right now. All right, who the best 10 quarterbacks are at this very moment heading into the season. And here was the list. I'll go backwards. At number 10, Dak Prescott. Number 9, Deshaun Watson. 8, Russell Wilson. 7, Justin Herbert. 6, Matthew Stafford. 5, Joe Burrow. 4, Tom Brady. 3, Josh Allen. 2, Patrick Mahomes, and 1, Aaron Rodgers. Now, I got some issues with some of the placements on this.
Right.
And mainly, look, I get that Lamar Jackson, the MVP, one-time MVP, has, let's face it, his last 2 years since the MVP, each one has gotten progressively worse. But that said, to me, he's got to be on the list. And I'm looking at Ephraim. I don't know how in the world, especially when they qualified it, like at this very moment, how in the world can Deshaun Watson be on the list?
That's the thing that blows my mind. This man hasn't played in a year and a half. We don't know when.
Won't play at least a half season.
We don't know
when
we'll see him again. So how could you even say something like that? We don't know who Deshaun Watson is right now.
Absolutely.
And that's an insult to someone like Lamar Jackson.
Let me ask you this. Again, being a former professional athlete, I mean, we've seen guys have long time off because of injuries or even Michael Jordan retiring. But what do you think the impact of that'll be on the Deshaun Watson?
It's going to take him a minute to get up to speed.
So practice won't cut it.
What? No. Practice in the NFL is
especially now.
No,
right.
It's not even close. Think about this: if the biggest game in college, the championship, doesn't measure up to a regular season game of the NFL, then what is practice going to do?
Right.
Like,
well, and especially nowadays because they don't go as hard as you guys used to.
Very rarely really practice hard. Right, it's no hitting, it's no any of that, no game situations. You don't get a lot of different looks defensively, the blitzes, and then just the overall talent of the opposing team's defense.
Right.
You don't get any of that in practice. You don't get any of that in preseason. And so, depending on, and it should be coming down, tomorrow, sometime this week, we should know what the if any, suspension for Deshaun Watson is going to be. So it's going to take him a minute to get up to snuff. It's not just drop back. It's too fast.
Shocking. I mean, he obviously is athletic enough, but it's still going to have to be a shock.
Just like anybody coming back from injury, right? And you're just trying to work yourself back into it. Now you have the mental hangover of the injury and trying to fight that. But for Deshaun Watson, it's going to be more so you miss a whole year of football?
Right.
At this level?
And then was 4-12. Now, granted, he played well.
It was great. Led the league in passing.
They were 4-12.
Yeah, but he's never had a winning season. It's not.
Well, he's had winning seasons.
In terms of when I'm talking about that,
deep in the playoffs.
In terms of $230 million fully guaranteed winning seasons. Right. There's a difference, right? You can get to the playoffs and it could be whatever it is, but if you're going to garner the most money that anybody's ever made, a guaranteed contract, then you got guys. Tom Brady went to 7 Super Bowls. He's never even sniffed anything like that. $230
Aaron Rodgers, is what a lot of great Hall of Fame quarterbacks have made in their careers.
The totality, and of course the money has gone up now. Right. But what I'm saying is,
but still,
if you're going to have that type, if you would ask me, does Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson deserve 230, million? What, you had to pick one.
Right. It's Lamar.
It's Lamar. So how do you not have him on the list?
Well, and that leads me. There's another guy I think shouldn't be ahead of Lamar, and it's, to me, again, a travesty. Dak.
I mean, I agree with that.
And I'm known on this show as a Dak guy, but come on.
Nah, come on, man. If you ask right now, Jerry Jones, who would you want, Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott? In a heartbeat, that man would pick Lamar.
Well,
in a heartbeat. It just adds a different dynamic to your team.
Right. If he were in Dallas instead of Dak, I don't know that they'd have a Super Bowl, but they'd be much better than they have been.
Much better.
Absolutely.
So just those two guys, and even the down year that Russell Wilson had. Now, he's done enough to where you'd be like, okay, he's still a top elite quarterback. But the down year, if you're talking about right now, the down year Russell Wilson had, including the injury last year, and what he was unable to do for Seattle, it's just like, oh, how do you not put this man in the mix at all?
Yeah, him. I don't. I mean, do you any of the other? Like, I think Mahomes should be number one still. I mean, my argument with Rodgers is just the playoffs.
Yeah,
I get the regular season, but I can't put him as the best quarterback in the league with the consistent playoff failures. And people still are singing that old refrain, Ephraim, about all the defense.
Nobody hear
it
all
ain't
that.
just been that, right?
Nobody.
Come on.
That's an old that
right.
You have to get with the times.
That's 10 years ago.
You know what I mean?
7 years ago. Right.
And for those who are like, he's the greatest thrower of the football. Okay, and what?
Right.
Like, so the thing about and I've played at Lambeau Field in December and in January. It's terrible. It's just awful. Hated it as a player, an opposing player.
Right.
But the thing was that if you had to go through Green Bay to get to the Super Bowl, then there was a 30% chance that you would make it. Like it was. It's
that much of an advantage.
It's that much of an advantage, and that's gone now. And that happened when Michael Vick was still in Atlanta, and Michael Vick went to Green Bay and beat them in the playoffs. And since then, if you look at what Aaron Rodgers has done the last 2 years, I mean, last year especially, everything you wanted to happen happened.
Yep.
Number one seed.
Yep.
Got to bye. That everybody had to come. The Super Bowl ran through Green Bay. Nothing.
Yep. You're right. There's no doubt about it.
So,
all right. Are you as appalled as Ephraim and I are that Lamar Jackson is not on this list of top 10 quarterbacks as determined by people in the NFL?
Yeah, the people, they're on the line. They want to know. Right. We got Tim in the ATL. You on the Odd Couple. What you got?
Yo, what's up, Nuke? What's up,
Silly
Ephraim?
Tim, what's up, Nuke?
What's
How
happening?
you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing this evening?
We are great,
doing good, brother.
We are great.
Yeah, I'm appalled, man, and the reason why I say that is because unlike some of those other cats, Lamar Jackson is one of those dudes that does not have to have everything perfect to still pull out and win a game. Whereas Dak has to have everything going for him and some of those other guys, and he doesn't have that. He's shown that he can still win when everything is not great around him. So that definitely got to put him in the top 10, man, because he can win. He's put off some great wins even when he didn't have all his cast of characters, and he may have had the talent that everybody else has, and he can still get good wins, man. So, yeah, he's got to be on that list. No doubt about it.
What I've said is that, and I know, look, he's not the passer Josh Allen is. He's not the greatest passer. We all know that. And I've said I would like to see them get him a top-flight receiver like DeAndre Hopkins did for Kyler Murray, like Stephon Diggs did for Josh Allen. I would like to see Lamar with a top-notch receiver. Now, they've tried, and a lot of guys don't want to go there because he can't pass. But still, he passes well enough, and he runs tremendously and keeps you off guard, off balance. So I think he's definitely top.
He just has too many intangibles. He has those intangibles that you can't coach.
Right.
Right? And we know he can throw from the pocket, and we know he's dynamic on the move. So
Right. What are we talking about?
What are we doing? All right, we got Mike in Shreveport. You on the Odd Couple? What you got?
Hey guys, I think it's about right. I think he's around like 11 or 12.
Really? Now why?
Yeah, but you just said it. He can't pass that well, and he had one of the top tight ends in the league. With Andrews all those years, and he had some good receivers.
Well, he and Andrews that's his best connection.
Right. He's made Andrews a lot of money.
I don't think he's had great receivers. And again, we're not saying. I think Ephraim agrees with me. We're not saying he's in the top 3.
No.
But how do you put Dak Prescott or
Deshaun Watson
ahead of me?
Would you, on your list, Mike, would you put Deshaun Watson and Dak Prescott ahead of Lamar Jackson?
Maybe.
I don't even know how in the world you could put Deshaun ahead of him.
What's the maybe there? I just didn't I didn't understand that. Like he called in and said he's not top 10, and then he was like, I guess maybe he will be. Right. We got Robert in Georgia. You on the Odd Couple? What you got?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all?
I'm good, brother.
What's
how you
up,
doing?
Man?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I want to say I definitely think that he is top 10. I think it's a shame that the reason I think that they keep him off the list is because he don't represent the quote-unquote typical pocket passer, and the old regime is trying to keep that narrative in of that's the way you got to play that position. Because what have Justin Herbert done? He ain't even made it to the playoffs.
He got to the playoffs, right?
And
Herbert,
look, ain't did nothing.
Herbert obviously is a much better passer, but he hasn't accomplished nearly as much as Lamar.
No, he hasn't. But Justin Herbert's fired though. Like he is,
and it appears that it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, when it comes to being a quarterback and throwing the ball, he came into the league on fire.
Right, first game against Kansas City. Here's what I'll say, Robert, and I hear you, but look. The fact of the matter is, and I've worried about Lamar's long-term, his long-term health in the NFL, which is why I'm saying, dude, get paid now. Because when you are a running quarterback, I'm actually surprised, Ephraim, he's been this healthy this long.
Yeah.
He's small. You saw the toll all those hits eventually took on Cam Newton.
Cam Newton is huge. Cam Newton's a linebacker. Right.
And so it's not just a cliche, and it's not racial. It is like that's I think a preferable way to play, and certainly for your long-term health, than running the ball so much in the NFL. And if you lose a half a step, that's all it takes, Ephraim, for those shots.
Oh, yeah.
Those tackles that Lamar can slip, or at least slip so he misses the big shot. You lose a half a step, and now all of a sudden you're getting hit. And that's where I worry about Lamar. But